Welcome to the Airgun Show. This week I'm taking a look at an affordable break barrel springer in the shape of the Pellpax Crowbuster combo. But before that, we're joining Andy Watkins on a mixed session as he targets wood pigeons, jackdaws and rabbits.
Well, I've arrived on the farm today and we're at a new permission now. I've only ever been here once before and that was just to get shown round. But the farm was having some trouble with the jackdaws and pigeons. Coming down into the cattle feed, into the sheds and eating the cattle food and defecating in it. So I'm going to try and put some down. Pigeon's just gone into a tree behind the camera. So yeah, that's basically it. The pigeons are flattening the crops. There's a field of barley just behind the sheds there. It's just starting to go a bit milky and the pigeons are hammering it. So we might bag one or two pigeons as well, but I haven't bought the gear for decoying. So I think what I'm going to do is just sit in the shed. From here I can see quite a few jackdaws just sat up in the top of a tree. So I'll go down in that shed, see what the score is down there, see if I can snipe some. So here's the rifle then, one that you've seen many times before. The Wolf RM8, 8-shot magazine, bolt action, got a PAO scope on top. This is the first focal plane, 5-20. It's illuminated reticle as well. Yeah, this is probably a perfect tool for the job really. Synthetic stock, we are around a farm and there is the possibility of bashing the stock off gates and whatnot. I'm not the most careful of people when it comes to that, so that's probably a good thing. But I've heard a pigeon flying through the tree behind the house, so I'm just going to stalk around the wall and see if it's still sat there. Well, hopefully the pigeon will just be around the corner.
So there could be pigeons and jackdaws in the bag for Andy today, and it looks like he's set to make an early start on those pigeons.
So a fairly simple shot there, about 25 yards, went just below the neck, bang on, looked like it hit exactly where I aimed, so happy with that. I spotted another one up in a tree here, so I'm just going to stalk in on it using these bushes here as cover. And there's a nice fence line that I can use as a rest as well. It's a little bit further than the last one, but still well within range. But I'll give it a laze and see where we're at. Well, it's still there, so that's a good start. Just going to range it. .38 yards, so well within the capabilities of this gun. Well, that went down nicely. I just reviewed the footage and you can just see it going just to the left off frame, and then it drops down in some standing crop. So I'm not going to go trampling all the crop because I'll just end up doing more damage than the pigeon was doing in the first place. But that's another one down, so 2 pigeons on the deck. Rifle's performing well so far. I'm going to pick up that first one we shot behind me and then head down to that shed, see if we can shoot some jackdaws. Here's our first pigeon then. The pellet entered just through the side there, straight into the heart, so that's why it dropped so quick. I'm in the shed now and the tree behind me is the one in question. There's some hay bales stacked up to my left and some straw bales to my right, so I'm thinking I'm going to set up a little hide using the straw bales just mounted up against the hay there, and that'll just help conceal me a little bit. I could bring a bright green hide net down and go through all the problems of setting that up, but it would be completely pointless because the birds know what's in this shed. They're in and out often enough. If I just prop these in the right place, it'll blend me right in and nothing will look out of the ordinary at all. This here is pretty much the perfect height for me to get a good angle up into that branch. So I'm going to make a little seat here and just build a wall around, and then I'll be absolutely invisible.
Using bales to make a hide is a great idea because it's exactly what pests would expect to see in this biome, and sharp-eyed jackdaws won't trust anything that looks out of the ordinary.
So when I'm tucked down behind here, I've got a solid rest and the birds can't see me. There's no elaborate camos today either, so as you can see, all the colours I'm wearing, browns and greens, blend in really well.
The stakeout turns out to be quite a long one, but Andy is eventually rewarded with a shot at a jackdaw.
Well, that was nice, went pretty much to plan. Took a little bit longer than I expected to get that first bird, but it dropped and it's gone down into the barley behind. It seems to have slowed up a bit. I haven't seen as many birds flying around as I'd thought I would have done. I've called the gamekeeper just to let him know how I'm getting on, and he reckons it's because it's getting a bit late in the day. So I've come after work, and he thinks maybe coming a little bit earlier next time could prove more productive, and he's probably right. Well, I've waited here another 20-30 minutes and I've not seen anything else, not even flying past. It's 7 o'clock now, and I think I'm going to wrap it up at this location. Now there is another spot that I can go to that's got quite a few rabbits there, so I might do a bit of ambushing, lying under the hedge and just waiting and see what comes out. It's not raining, it's stopped now, so I think that might be the best way to get the most out of this evening. Before I go though, I've got to put this lot back where I found it. As you can see behind me, we've got a horse field and there's quite a lot of rabbits on there, so the landowners asked me to just see if I can thin a couple out, so I'm gonna just lie under the hedge and see if I can pick some off. Now the kit I'm using is exactly the same as what I've been using down the farm just 10 minutes ago. The only difference is this time I'll be using just a standard shooting mat, and that'll just keep me nice and warm, and more importantly dry from the very damp grass underneath.
So Andy has decided to go for plan B and head to another farm. Hopefully a change of location and quarry will help to keep the day's tally rolling.
Well, I'm in position now. The only bit of kit I forgot's my bipod. I wasn't planning on shooting rabbits this evening, but the opportunities arose, so got to make the most of it. One's come out, it's very tight into the hedge. Well, he jumped forward. I'm 99% sure I hit him, but I'm just going to go up just to be sure. I don't want to wound him or anything and have him kicking around there not dead. So I'm going to break my position, go and retrieve that rabbit. A nice rabbit there, headshot. That's why it jumped forward a little bit and just into the hedge. Just nerves kicking him in. Another one's just come out. It's a little bit further into the field. But I can just about see the head. It's a bit further than 25 yards, the last shot that I took, so I'm just going to make sure it's within range on the laser. .38 yards, so it needs about a mil dot holdover. That was definitely a headshot. Well, I've waited a little while since that last shot. I haven't bothered retrieving that just because I know that it's dead. But it's starting to spit and drizzle again now, so I think I'm going to pack it up. It's 20 to 9, and I haven't had my tea yet, so I'm getting a bit peckish. So I think now's a good time to wrap it up, but first I'm just going to go and pick up that rabbit. I'm not going to be eating these myself. There's actually a lady who comes into our shop, and she's been after a couple of rabbits for some time now, so she'll be having these too.
Andy Watkins making the right moves there to wind up with a decent mixed bag. And now, it's the Airgun Show news.
This is the Airgun Show news. Shooters are fighting back against the NEC after it banned international hunting companies from exhibiting at the British Shooting Show. The venue has welcomed international outfitters for the last 2 years, but now appears to have caved to pressure from antis and barred around 10 safari companies from the show. A petition to have them reinstated has 6,000 signatures already, and it needs your help to grow further. To sign it, head to the link in the video description. The long-awaited consultation on medical involvement in firearms licensing is finally going ahead. The Home Office has written to BASC to say the call for evidence will begin shortly, and will last about 8 weeks. The aim is to produce statutory guidance to doctors and stop them interpreting the law any way they want. This could involve an extra fee for certificate applicants, but could also see the duration of a certificate increased to 10 years. The final report on the general licence situation is out. Despite being over 100 pages long, it mostly tells us what we already know about the new licences, though it does say that DEFRA will lead a review of the longer-term general licensing arrangements, and that's expected to start this summer. BASC said they were pleased that their evidence had been used in the report, and paid tribute to the remarkable response by Basque's members in a very short space of time. And finally, we'll see you at the Game Fair this weekend. Coming to Hatfield House from Friday to Sunday, the countryside's biggest event will be packed with attractions for fans of shooting, fishing, gun dogs, gamekeeping and more. Plus, the biggest names in shooting retail will be there, so you might be able to bag a bargain. The Airgun Show team will be there checking out the latest news as always, or come and find us on the Airgun Shooter stand and say hello. That was the Airgun Show news.
Pellpax are renowned for their affordable combo deals, and I've got a great one for beginners right here. It's known as the Crowbuster kit, and it retails for just £149.99. For that, you get a Webley VMX rifle, a telescopic sight and mounts, and a padded gun bag and pellets. That is a lot of gear for the money. Starting with the .22 caliber Webley VMX air rifle, which the kit is based around, it's a break barrel Springer producing a muzzle energy close to the UK legal limit. It's 109 centimetres long and weighs 2.8 kilos unscoped and about 3.3 kilos with the supplied scope fitted. It is fairly big, but it doesn't feel too heavy and it's comfortable to shoot. Weight savings have been made through the synthetic stock, which is also very tough. Finished in black, it's ambidextrous and made along the lines of a classic sporter design. There are moulded patches of checkering on either side of the forend and pistol grip, which ensure a secure purchase whatever the weather. The design of the pistol grip makes for decent trigger attack, and the cheek piece is sufficiently high to ensure decent eye alignment when using a telescopic sight. The stock is finished with a ventilated rubber recoil pad, which helps to absorb the modest kick from the firing cycle. The build quality of this airgun feels very solid, and I like the black finish of the metalwork. The rifled steel barrel is finished with a chunky cocking aid which provides additional grip when breaking the barrel. It also incorporates the red front element of the fibre optic open sights. The green rear element is positioned at the opposite end of the barrel and is adjustable for windage and elevation. The cylinder is machined with dovetail scope rails, and there's a movable arrestor plate to stop the mounts from creeping. This kit comes supplied with a decent set of two-piece mounts which provides secure attachment for the supplied 3 to 9x50 Pro Shot scope. That 3 to 9 times zoom range is just about perfect for an airgun of this type. The windage and elevation turrets require a screwdriver or key for adjustment, but they turn with nice positive clicks. Fitted with a Webley power lock mainspring, the VMX is surprisingly easy to cock, especially when you consider that it's producing a muzzle energy of around 11.5 foot-pounds. Loading is direct to the breech, and the lock-up mechanism clunks home very securely when you snap the barrel closed. The cocking stroke engages the automatic safety catch, which is also manually resettable. The button is sensibly positioned at the rear of the cylinder. The gun is safe when it's in the rearward position, and you simply nudge it forwards when you're ready to take a shot. I try to manage my expectations when it comes to triggers on affordable airguns, but this one is actually pretty good. It's a two-stage unit with a distinctly curved blade. Weight and travel are pretty much spot on. There's a fair amount of first stage travel, and the second stage breaks very predictably. So, that's what you get for under £150 with the Crowbuster package. Let me put out a target and I'll show you how it performs. Well, one thing I will say is that for the money, it's a surprisingly nice gun to shoot. I mentioned earlier on it's quite smooth to cock. It's got a fairly nice trigger, and it's also got quite a smooth firing cycle. Again, for this gun's price range, not too much twang to the spring. Got a bit of a breezy day, there's an occasional gust pushing across the range here. That was a 5-shot group at 20 metres. Now it was by nowhere near a single holer, probably more like an inch from centre to centre. And I would say that even in calmer conditions, that 20 metres is probably about the limit for tackling live quarry with this setup. However, it's also going to be brilliant fun for plinking. So, that's the Crowbuster package from Pellpax. It's up to close range pest control, and I can also see it providing a lot of enjoyment as a backyard plinker. When you consider that you get a gun, scope, mounts, padded gun bag and pellets for under £150, it really is excellent value for money. If you're looking for a starter combo that won't break the bank, this is definitely one to consider.
Look out for the new and improved Airgun Shooter magazine, packed full of technique, gear and insight from some of the best shooters in the industry. Brand new look and free video content. Pick up your copy today in stores or online.
That's all for this week, but we'll be back again in a fortnight. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you aren't already a member of the BASC, it's time you joined the organisation that works to promote and protect your sport.